I don't know what to even say. What's up, guys? KTRW is here, your KTRW champion. We just had. I don't. I don't know if WrestleMania is gonna have to be like postponed or something, and I'm so sorry, guys, because it keeps getting postponed. But shit keeps happening. Shit keeps hitting the fan. We're here at the KTRW arena. We were filming the last taping for KTRW WrestleMania, finishing up, and we didn't even get anything filmed today because today was nothing but a big backstage altercation between the entire roster. The entire roster, we all were just blowing up at each other, and there was a huge roster altercation today, so I had to just stop taping and I had to send everybody home because things were getting too hostile. And you guys can believe what you want. I know since it's pro wrestling, you guys are like, oh, it's storyline. It's not. But I understand why you would think that. Believe whatever you want to believe at this point. But what I'm telling you guys is what happened. And that's, I couldn't get any taping done today. Everybody left, and we had this huge altercation. Literally, there was fights that broke out, and I'm literally shaking because of just the traumatizing events that happened just a few minutes ago. And actually, this whole altercation actually resulted in me having to fire one of my top stars, Daniel. I literally just fired Daniel like 10 minutes ago. So I guess I'm gonna go home and interview this, I guess, because I want to tell you guys the whole story. So yeah, I'm gonna head home and guess we're doing shoot interview. Alright, guys, I'm in my car right now. Guess this is as good a place of any to do the shoot interview. So figure I'd tell you guys the whole story. But yes, I did just fire Daniel. But the reality that you guys don't know is that he's a top star in KTRW, yes, but he is a pain in the ass to work with. And Daniel will always be a friend of mine. He'll always be one of my good friends. We've been friends since like second grade, but as someone to work with, I just can't have him around anymore. And this is a huge problem because we have him booked for WrestleMania, and we had big plans for him, and we didn't get to film that match. We were going to do that today, but this was just the last straw. I had to fire him. So guys, if WrestleMania comes late, I'm sorry. I will be updating on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, link below. I will be updating but May 15th, that's next week, and we still have 2 matches to film that we were going to film today. Well, 1 match and a couple segments that we were going to film today, and we didn't get to do it. And so yeah, Onyx was here, guys, and this is what really pissed me off about the situation, is that Onyx was here. He's never around, as you guys know. The thing about Onyx is the way you guys see him, his character, he's not much different in real life. You guys wonder what he's like in real life. He's not much different than his actual character. But he is dedicated. It's not like he doesn't care about KTRW. He's dedicated. He's in college right now, which is why he doesn't show up. He is in college, legitimately over an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And he does make the trip every once in a while to come down here and film from his campus here, which, is why he's one of my most prized superstars, because and I love him, and he's amazing for doing that for me. Daniel doesn't care, guys. I don't know if you guys can tell, but Daniel doesn't care. And he's not very trained. He knows the basics, but that's about it. And holy shit, I just noticed those bruises there. That was from the altercation. I guess I'll talk about that later. But Daniel, he doesn't care about KTRW. He does it for the platform. He does it to get his name out there. That's about it. And he said that today. Like, this is something that I always thought. It was always in, like, my mindset. Oh, wow. Look at that. That he was like this. But, he admitted it today. In the heated argument that we had. And, Daniel, if you're watching this, I'm really pissed at you right now. And that's why I told him. I legit had to tell him to leave, get out of here, because him and Onyx actually started fighting. Because what a lot of you guys don't know is Onyx and Daniel, they don't get along. That's why it's a good thing that Onyx isn't here as often as he is, because Onyx has very strong feelings about Daniel, and he will tell you. They are not fans of each other, and we have to keep them separate when they are at filming on the same day as Backstage, because they are that heated. This actually sparked from many months ago at KTRW Survivor Series when they had a match together. Daniel, a lot of you guys complain about it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Because you guys even complain about him. And the fact of the matter is, it's true. Like, Onyx was trying to make a serious match out of it, and Daniel was treating it like a joke. He was barely selling. He was laughing. He was smiling. And he treated it like a joke. He treated the entire match like a joke. I didn't have time to refilm it. Onyx didn't have the patience to refilm it. And that's kind of when the heat started really building up between the two. And, Daniel was treating it like a joke. And that's what really bothered me. And even you guys complain about him. You guys are like, he doesn't sell. He's smiling. And I see that, and I know that. And, like, everyone backstage complains about him. You guys complain about him. I lose my patience with him very fast. And that is why I came to this decision today. I'm like, you know what? That was your last straw, Daniel. You're done. I'm sorry. Goodbye. I don't want you here anymore. And, he stormed off. And I want to make an apology to the rest of the roster who came here to film, and we didn't get any of that done. So, I don't know what else to do. I'm meeting Matt Nader later. He didn't make it to tapings today, and it was a good thing he didn't. But I'm going to have to tell him about the whole situation. Maybe we'll get his side of the story. Of what he thinks of Daniel. Shoot interview. Because no one backstage is really fond of him, to be honest. But yeah. And, I guess I'll tell you the story today. Is Daniel, he thinks he knows it all. And what's funny about that is he's barely trained. He knows the basics. He didn't want to go to wrestling school. He claimed he didn't have time. Like, he's too good for wrestling school. So me and Onyx trained him here. Well, for a while it was just me, because Onyx, got done with him. He didn't want to train him anymore. So it was just me. And he wouldn't listen to me. He would critique me and say, hey, you're not doing this right. Like, when I'm trying to teach him a move, he's like, yeah, you're not doing this right. Which pisses me off, because I'm trained. Me and Onyx are the only two that are fully trained on this roster. We train everybody else, because a lot of people can't afford wrestling school, So we train them here, and that's a courtesy, I spend time that I could be spending filming, helping somebody else to train Daniel. I could be helping someone else who really wants to be here, and I'm helping Daniel. And that's a courtesy, you know? And he basically spits in my face, and he spits in the face of the roster by thinking he knows it all and thinking he knows better. And, you know, that's why the entire roster isn't fond of him. Everybody backstage. I don't think he has a single fan backstage. He's partly the reason Emma doesn't show up anymore, actually, too, because around Emma, who, you know, as you guys know, is the only female that's ever appeared on KTRW, he was very inappropriate towards her. He was making inappropriate remarks, some of them sexual, and, you know, because he treats it all like a joke. He thinks he's funny, and he thinks it's all fun and games. And there have been times that me and Daniel have gotten into fights. I legit kicked Daniel out of a filming one time because of the remarks he was making about Emma. And, you know, I'm trying to get Emma back. I don't think it's going to happen. If you guys, just because of all this going on, she doesn't want to show up anymore. And that's why you guys haven't seen her since August. Is because of these remarks that he makes and the backstage issues they have. And since Daniel's such a big part of my show, he was here almost every filming. Emma didn't want to show up anymore. She's like, I'm sorry, Kyle, I'm done. That's the true story. That's why she's not here. That's why she doesn't show up anymore, in case you guys were wondering. And, so yeah, Daniel has really been an asshole backstage. He pisses everybody off. And that's the long story short, and I'm being completely honest, is we're tired of his attitude, thinking he knows it all, trying to tell me he knows better, trying to tell everyone else he knows better. The dude's ego is this big, honestly. And I don't know what else to say about it, is he's got the worst ego of anyone I've ever seen. And, you know, as you guys know, he was booked for a triple threat match for the TMNT Championship. That obviously won't be taking place, because he's no longer welcome here at KTRW. We were supposed to film that today. That's why I'm telling you guys that maybe WrestleMania might be pushed back. We're either going to make a different triple threat match, 3 different participants, or with someone to replace Daniel, or we're just gonna have Turtleface versus Dr. Man 1-on-1. I'm sorry, guys, for those of you who are looking forward to the triple threat match, but it's not happening anymore. And now I gotta find a completely different time to film this. So I'm sorry. That's all I got there. I will be updating on Twitter. Links will be in the description below. Daniel, if you're watching, I'm sorry I had to fire you, but we're all done. I've given you multiple warnings. In most cases, it's 3 strikes, you're out. I've given you way more than 3 strikes. It's been about in the 30s by now, how many times I've warned you. And I've had it. You know, I've wanted to keep Daniel around because we don't have a lot of guys that show up often. And that's why I was holding on to Daniel, is because I'll give him credit, he showed up often. And another thing that pissed me off is when he showed up, he would often share his displeasure of being there. At the taping, he'll tell everyone there that he'd rather be doing something else, that he would rather not be here. And he said, I don't want to be here. He constantly asks, he's like, are we done? Like, I want to go home. Like, I don't want to be here right now. This sucks. Who acts like that? Who acts like that when you're here? And I'm paying him to be here. And he tells me I don't want to be here. So I guess I just granted his wish by firing him because he doesn't want to be here. So I'm sorry, Daniel. I really am. But this is the best interest of my show right now. I'll update you guys on WrestleMania soon. If I end up hanging out with Matt tonight, I will get his side of the story. You'll see a lot more on the documentary, is all I'm going to say. Coming out June, July. I don't know when it's coming out. I gotta ask the guy again. But you'll see all this going down. If you guys don't believe me, you think it's storyline, you'll see it all in the documentary. You'll see everybody's opinions and feelings about Daniel. You'll see me actually firing Daniel. Because apparently it was all caught on tape. And I'll look through it. I don't know if I want to release it because it was crazy. But we'll see you guys. I thank you guys for watching. I'll be updating on Twitter. And I'll see you guys next time.